Today's episode is brought to you by ButcherBox. ButcherBox is going to get you that good meat delivered right to your home. Let's jump into this podcast. Hello, everybody. It's time for Ghost and Crendor.
Ghost and Crendor in the morning.
In the morning. Broadcasting live. Before our recording studio audience. Recording. Wake your ass up. It's up next Crendor in the morning. Hello, everybody. We're excited episode of Cox and Crendor in the morning.
Woo! Another episode.
You more and more become a ghost the longer this goes on.
Woo!
Yeah. Not sure who you're trying to haunt.
I'm haunting you.
Me? I don't know about that. I don't know if that's how that works. Although I did, the internet's weird. I mean, we can agree. The internet's weird. Mm-hmm. But sometimes it's also horny. And
very frequently.
I was scrolling through Reddit, and they had a comic that someone had made. And the comic was about a man in his new house. And he's like, every night before I go to bed, in the corner of my room, I see a ghost. And it's this like ghost up in the corner, like, hey, man, right?
Right.
And he's like, this ghost drives me crazy. And I thought it was a horror comic. So I'm starting to read through it. And finally he confronts the ghost. And he's like, Ghost, what do you want from me? And take a wild guess. Take a wild guess what this comic's last panel was.
They start banging.
Yeah, she's like, I'm so horny. That was and I was like, what is going on with the internet? It's, you know what? It's exactly where it has always been. But for some reason, I feel like it's going to get me. And it never does. It's always horny.
It really is. I would say that's the #1 trait of the internet.
Yeah, I agree. It's always horny. And I expect it to go other places. And I don't know why I expect that, because it always comes back home to horny.
It really does. Everything is powered by it as well. Like any type of new technology, it's just driven by that.
Yeah. I thought I was reading a horror comic, and no.
It's a horror comic. Get it?
Right. But I don't know. I don't think he paid that ghost.
Oh.
I think that ghost lives with him. I mean, although it was rent-free situation, so like I'm not judging.
That's true, yeah.
But he did move into her home, so
that's true,
like it's complicated.
Yeah, it's complicated. It's the relationship status, which
just like the internet, it's complicated.
I don't know why that was ever a status you could change your thing to on like Facebook or whatever it was. Like anybody that was just
old school situationship. That's what it means.
Yeah, like anybody where you're like, what's their relationship? Like, it's complicated. It's like, all right, so this is
It's a mess. Yeah.
It's a mess.
No one writes it's complicated and it means like, well, it's good. It's just, it's undefined.
Yeah.
No, you're a mess.
Yeah, there's no in between. They're trying to be in between, but by saying that, they're like, nah, this is messed up.
Yeah. It has a little tinge of mystery, but mystery solved. It's a mess. You're a mess.
Yeah. So how's your week going?
Dude, it has been raining like crazy here in LA, and I'm just gonna let you know, the infrastructure not prepared for it. The roads are crumbling. I was driving over to the office, and there's so much debris in the roads, and it's either from trees that haven't, because when there's like rain and high winds and all that stuff, the tree debris goes to the ground, but we don't have that here often. Mm-hmm. So when it rains bad, it all comes down. The roads, we don't have a lot of rains. We don't have snow, so the roads are pretty fine most of the time. It rains once, all the asphalt crumbles. There are so many potholes where there weren't 3 days ago. It's insane, dude. There's giant holes everywhere. I was like, okay, cool. And then there's this weird thing that happens to LA drivers. Thankfully, I grew up on the East Coast, and I went to college where it snowed all the time. So none of this phases me, but oh my God. LA people, we need to have a conversation. Y'all suck at driving in the rain. My God. It's bad. People, I can't even tell you how many crashes I saw. And I was trying to figure out how. There was one crash where a dude from the left lane, his car was in, sort of the middle embankment area where sometimes they put lights or whatever.
Yeah.
His car was up on that, and I couldn't figure out. It's just a straightaway. There's no one who could turn in. He just crashed because he crashed. Maybe he was on his phone. I don't know. So this dude is standing out in the middle of the rain, covered in rain, as the cops and like I don't know, maybe the fire, like, you know how there's like the micro fire truck, like little baby fire truck that shows up. That was there, and yeah, and this dude's just standing in the rain. So he had the humiliation of having crashed his car for no reason, apparently, and he had to be stuck in the rain. So he's just standing there, and I'm driving by like, damn, dude, that sucks. I went, and I also forgot, by the way, that it's even more depressing in LA because there is a sizable homeless population.
Yeah.
And for the most of the time, they're kind of like chilling, doing their thing. But when it rains, it is even more sad because just dudes hanging out under every embankment, every thing that could act as a shield from the rain imaginable, huddled up. So it becomes very obvious how bad the homeless population is, like how many there are. It's really noticeable because everyone just kind of gathers together under what little there is to hide from the rain. I went to go get gas before I came over here, and there's just a dude at one of the pumps with like a trash bag on, and he's sitting there and he's just staring at me. And mind you, there's 15 people at the gas pumps, but this dude's staring right at me.
It's always you.
It's always me. I don't know what it is about me, but he looks at me, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go and get my gas, and I start pumping the gas, and I'm just standing there in the rain, freezing. It's like really cold, and it's cold rain, so it's the worst type of rain. And I'm like, oh man, it's just nasty out. And I'm like shivering, and I'm waiting for the gas to finish pumping, and I noticed this dude has moved. Speaking of horror movie, moved from where he was sitting underneath the pumps to maybe 2 feet behind me. I did not notice, dude.
What the shit?
And he's just staring at me, and I'm like, hey, what's up? And he's like, hey. And I'm like, okay. He's like, hey. I'm like, yeah, what's going on, man? He's like, you got $4 so I can get some food? By the way, a $4 ask is very high.
That is pretty high, yeah. Inflation.
Saying, yeah, can I have $4? It's not even like, can I have some change? Dude was like, can I have $4? I was like, that's so specific, my man. That's so specific. And I looked at him and I was like, sorry, dude, I don't have any like physical cash on me. I just got my cards. And he's like, we could go inside and buy me something. I was like, whoa. Mind you, at the time, I did not have the ability. I was still pumping gas. So I'm looking at him like, no, I'm not going inside. I'm just going to pump the gas and leave. And he's like, okay. And then stood there.
What the shit?
If I can imagine if I was like, for me, I'm like, all right, whatever, but any other person I can imagine being very uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it felt slightly uncomfortable. I was like, what's this dude? I was less concerned about me and more like, what's going on with you, dude? Like, what's happening? Why are you standing? And I guess he had nothing better to do because he was standing under, but there's all these other people around us. There's people moving around. There's people pumping gas. Like, why is he just here with me? What about me? Screams. If I just work this guy over, he'll eventually give me money. I was like, I don't have money for you. I don't have any physical cash on me. What do you want?
It's like I said, you're like the lighthouse of social activity.
I guess, but not in like a fun way, but in like yeah, this guy will give me some money.
Yeah. Or they just see you as being able to listen.
Like, I guess, yeah, I don't shoot down people. Like, I'm not that person who's like, no, go away. I hate you. Like, I don't do that and I never will do that, so I guess that's why. But I don't think that's, oh, yeah, that guy, you got to, like, that's the guy. You got to talk to that guy. Like, no, I don't think that's the word in the homeless community. I don't think that's it. It's just weird to me that I'm just constantly the guy every time. And so I was like, yeah, sorry, you don't have anything. So then I had to do the awkward move of my gas is done pumping. I put the handle back in the machine.
Yeah. Turn.
I now have to go around my car to get into the driver's side. Dude's just standing there, just looking at me. And so I had to do the awkward, like, excuse me, and I walked around him. It felt disrespectful. Like, I didn't want to do that, but it was just like, out of the way, you. And so I had to go around him. And then
Well, he's probably done it before and it works.
yeah, it's just oof. I don't know. It seemed very awkward to me.
Yeah.
Got in the car, and as I'm in the car, I just see him looking into my rearview mirror, like direct eye contact. He said maybe 12 words to me the entire time, but he also looked less like, your normal, like, I've done a lot of drugs, homeless dude, and like, I will kill you, homeless dude. Like, he had that vibe. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to keep driving. and I started to drive away, and he just stood there looking at me. Like, he's like, I know you have money. I was like, bro, what do you want from me? And I kept going. I was like, all right. So then, after I got my gas, I was like, all right, well, I'll go over and grab some coffee on the way to the office because there's a Starbucks on the way. Yep. So I pull in, and again, because it's one of those micro corner shopping centers LA has a lot of, there's just like, I don't know, 20, 30 homeless dudes hiding out under the awnings.
It's just the same guy staring you down.
This time it was worse because there was a dude who was just screaming at I don't know who. And he was like, the government's coming to take it, and I'm not going to let them take my money, damn it. And I was just like, all right, keep walking by. Don't even look at this dude.
No eye contact.
Yeah, don't even. This guy's going through it. Just keep going. And then some dude was like, hey, man, can you give me like 12 napkins? And I was like, for you, I got you, dude. I got you. So I went inside, got my coffee because I ordered it on my phone. And went in, grabbed it, walked out, gave this man the napkins, and the dude next to him was like, why didn't you get me anything? And I like made a joke. I was like, he got to me first, And he was like, well, you can go back in and get me something. I was like, what about today has made y'all so demanding?
At least they only wanted napkins this time.
Yeah, dude, just wanted. I'll get you napkins. That's fine. I'm not a monster. Like, you want napkins? Sure as shit. I don't know why he's not allowed inside to get napkins. I feel like that's a weird.
There's
thing.
definitely something that has occurred in the past where you can't go in.
Yeah. I was like, okay. And then I went and jumped in the car and came to the office and was like, cool. Well, that was weird. And then I'm sure I've mentioned this guy before, but there's like a dude who has like a shop he set up on the corner. He's like a homeless dude who has like 8 tents, but he like fixes dudes' bikes on the corner.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he's like that guy's pretty cool, but his entire corner was flooded. I don't know if he was there and in it or what, but it was flooded and his tents were like all deflated. And I was like, if that man's in there, God, I'm like, I don't know what I would do to get off the streets, but if I was living on the streets, I would do just about anything because that seems miserable.
Yeah, that seems terrible, especially when the weather hits.
Yeah, dude, especially if, you're in a city like Chicago or a city where it can actually snow and get, like, I would take any job and do anything, but I also understand that it's LA, so it's even twice as hard for people to, afford to live anywhere, but I would do whatever it took, man. Like, I don't know. I guess drugs are a hell of a drug.
Drugs are indeed a hell of a drug. That they are.
Yeah.
Damn, what a story. That's
Yep. That was just today leaving. I woke up, and I've said this before. I said this a few weeks back. When it rains in this city, and it's always December, January, and a little into February, and then it will stop. Maybe in a little bit of March, but it will not happen the rest of the year. We'll have like 12 total days of rain all year long, and it always happens in one little spurt. And every time it does, I get hit with big like hibernation energy where I'm just like, what if I didn't do anything? So today I woke up at 8 a.m., walked around my apartment like dusted, and then sat there and I was like, I guess I'll watch TV, but then there's nothing on TV. It's like, I guess I'll like put on a YouTube thing, and then I put on a YouTube thing and then passed out till like 1 p.m. and woke up on my couch and was like, what the hell happened? And I was freezing cold. I looked at my thermometer in my apartment, and it was like 52 degrees in the apartment. I was like, what happened? And I realized I still had air conditioning set on for 72 and not heat. So the air conditioning's not going to kick on because it's like lower. And so it just kept getting lower and lower, and I was so cold, man. I was like, what the hell happened? Oh, yeah. I just went into full hibernation mode. I was like, I got to go do stuff. And then, and then I realized the rain is really bad out there.
I feel like you just did this 2 weeks ago, too. It was like the exact same thing.
Exact same thing. Exactly. And that's how I know it is strictly weather-based. Because, like a great example, if it's hot out, I am jazzed to do anything. If it's above 80 degrees, for some reason, I cannot sleep, but I will do just about any damn thing. But if it drops below like 50, I'm just, what if I stayed inside and just wrapped myself up in a blanket? I am very weather-based.
Well, I know you sleep better when it's cold. So that is a factor.
But it was so cold last night that shout out to my bed. I've said this before. My old bed, it was rough. And so when I got my new bed, I splurged. I got one of those beds that like moves and stuff, and it has cooling and stuff, but it also has heating in the feet, like down by your feet.
Shit.
Yeah, so last night it was so cold I turned the feet heat on and it was great. I was like, "Oh, I'm a little toasty boy." So that was good stuff. Best look, if you're going to invest in something, invest in a good bed. It has changed my reality.
That's
so
true.
Good.
You'll be there every day for a while.
Yeah. My bed and my glasses are the most expensive things I own. Actually, probably my car, but my car is years and years old now.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of which, I have a story.
Okay, hit me.
So I had to go to the mechanic because they were like, you need new tires. And they told me that the last time I got my oil change. Or like, next time you go, you get your new tires. And I was like, all right, we just had snow. It's going to get ice and rain. I was like, I should probably do the tires now. So I was like, all right, I'll go get my new tires. So I go there.
I'm really curious how much they tires are too damn expensive, but I'm curious what they charge you.
Yeah, it was like $150 a tire, I think.
And then they do like, all right, yeah, it's $150 a tire, and for each tire, it's $500 in installation fees, and they
always do the fee. Well, I go to I got a mechanic I go to all the time, so they're typically cheaper, but I think in total it was like $700 or like $650, $700 is around there. So I was like, whatever. If you just like Google like, what's the price of new tires? It'll be like, it could range from like $50 to $150 each, $100 to $300.
Because they'll do one of those things where it's like, buy 3 tires, get 1 free, but it's somehow the exact same price as if you were to buy 4.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, cool.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, whatever. So did that. And then I swear to God, there the day before, literally the day before I got the new tires, the service engine soon light came on. And I was like, okay. So I asked them when they were getting the tires on, I was like, can you check the service engine thing? And they're like, yeah, we can do that. So they check it and they're like, all right, so this is a mass airflow sensor. And I was like, what the shit does that mean?
What does that mean? Yeah.
Right. And so they're like, we have to take a look at it like a different day. We don't got time. So I was like, all right, I'll come back like tomorrow. They're like, all right, can't be tomorrow. It's got to be the day after. I was like, all right, fine. So I come back the day after. I'm like, I hope the car doesn't die. So it didn't die. It was fine. And I came back. They check everything. And after like an hour, they're like, so it turns out you need a computer update. And I was like, a computer update? And they're like, yeah, you need to update the computer, and then that might fix it, but there might be something else on top of that. You have to go to the dealer.
What?
Yeah, so I had to go to the car dealership where they deal in like specific cars, right? Like every car has their own dealer.
Sure.
And so he was like, I'm going to tell you right now, do not let them do anything else. And I was like, why? And he's like, they will charge you an arm, a leg, another leg, and probably something else you got. And I was like, okay. Yeah. So he's like, if they offer you anything, get the least amount possible done, and then just like bring stuff back here and we'll tell you the actual price. And I was like, okay. So I go to the dealer, and sure enough, they're just like, yeah, we'll take a look there. All right. And then, half their place is selling cars. The other half's like the service garage. There's like other people coming in. They're just like, all right, you can wait in the waiting area. Very nice waiting area. So already I was like, who's paying for this waiting area? I am. That's who's paying for it. They're like complimentary water and snacks and coffee and all this shit. You can like watch them work on the cars. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. Just fix my thing. So they're like, all right, we'll take a look. So they take a look and then they're like, we'll send you a video of what your car, like they text you a video of them like working on the car. They tell you what it's all, whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. So they're like, yeah, it was, you do need a computer update, but you do need a new mass airflow sensor, but you have to take it out. And then we also got to do the air filter and you got to take this thing. And then they're like, also, here's like 7 other things you could get done. And I was like, nah, I think we'll just do the air one. Yeah, we're just going to do, and he's just like, are you sure? Because I was like, no, I think we'll do it. He's like, all right. And so I was like, how long is this going to take? He's like 30, 45 minutes. I'm like, cool. And then he literally calls up the mechanic guy. He's like, yeah, just go ahead with the airflow. And he's like, no, just the airflow. Yeah, that's what he just wants, the airflow. All right, just the airflow. That shit was $1,000.
That sounds right. That sounds exactly like every time I've ever been to the actual dealer.
Yep.
What's crazy about it is when I first bought my car, which would have been 2016, whatever that was, before times. When I first bought my car, they had this thing where it was like, well, for X number of miles, just bring it in. We'll do all the oil changes. We'll do all the fixing. It won't cost you a dime. And I was like, oh, this is a great deal. Yeah. So for the first, couple years, I would always go there and I would get all the stuff done and it was great. But here's the thing I noticed. They would, if a light went on, they would only fix that problem.
Yeah.
They would never do anything else. Yet, the minute it was done, and I found this out because I took it in, they were like, oh, your stuff expired, so you have to pay out of pocket. I'm like, okay. The minute that happened, suddenly they were just like, all right, so there's about 8 things that need to be fixed. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah. Your lug bolts, your bolt lugs, your fluid, your other fluid. This shit's rusting. It'll be about $20,000. You're just like, what?
Yeah, I mentioned that a piece of my car was just gone, right?
You might have, but I don't remember.
Like on the front side of my car, on the passenger side, there's like a little ornamental silvery piece. I don't know what the hell the purpose is. It just exists. And at some point in my own parking garage, someone like popped it off. I don't know why. I don't know. They popped it off. And it left a literal hole in the side of my car. And I was like, what the hell? So I was like, well, I guess it's damage. So I guess, like, I don't know, I'll call, my insurance company and see what's up. And they're like, well, considering it's not an accident, there's no fee, so we'll pay for it to be repaired. I was like, great. And they were like, you need to find out what part it is. It's like, okay. So I went to the dealer. I was like, yeah, I got this thing. Insurance said they're going to pay for it. And they were like, okay, cool. Let's look at it. And the guy was like, all right, so what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to pull off the door panel and then take off that side panel. And you're looking about $2,500. And I was like, whoa. So I called my insurance company. I was like, this is what they're saying. And they're like, go to these dudes down the street. I'm like, okay. So I went to this body shop down the street. Guy who definitely was drunk comes out like, okay, so what do you got here? Okay, so this piece is gone. Let me go look it up in the catalog. He goes in, he's like, okay, so, and by the way, this place is right on a main street. There's cars everywhere that they're working on. No place to park. So I'm like almost halfway into the actual street while this guy's checking this out. And he's like, okay, so, yeah, I looked up the piece. It's going to take about 4 weeks to get here, but it'll be $28. And I was like, my man, you got yourself a deal. And he called me, and I put it in a couple of weeks ago, and it's fine. Like, literally, I watched the man. He took the piece, walked out to my car, put it in the hole, pressed up a little bit, and then was like, all right, we're good. And it is the most secure thing. It is on there. I tested it. And, meanwhile, the dealer was like, we're going to tear apart half your car. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah, that's, dude, I swear, they're like, so the other thing is, like, I was sitting there watching them work on it, and then this lady behind me, she was waiting, and then the guy comes out, and he's like, because I had like 5 different people working their service thing. The guy comes up, he's like, all right, so yeah, we got your car, we did all this stuff, here's all the things you need. He's like, so you need fuel, you need this oil, you need this thing, you need a new thing here, you need a shock absorber, you need this. And then she's like, what do I just like need done today? And he's like, you know, oh man, I would, how long you looking to drive this thing? Like till the wheels fall off? And then she's like, yeah, I mean, as long as I can. And he's like, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to do the fuel today, I'd probably say, but like everything else. And I was like, that man is lying out of his ass. Yeah. There is no way. So she was like, do you guys have like teacher discounts? And he was like, you know what, come back to my desk. We'll like talk about it. And then she was like,
oh no, she's gone. She's gone. She's about to drive away with a new car.
Yeah. And he's like, hey, come back to, she's like, yeah. And he's like, what do you teach? What do you teach? And she's like, I teach 4th grade. He's like, wow, no way. That's really cool. She's like, yeah, it's like I teach the English, like, because it's my 2nd language. And then 1st is Polish. And he's like, no way, I'm part Polish. No way. That's awesome. I was like, this man does not give one shit. He is just like, listen, lady, you're going to spend all your fucking teaching money on this car. And you're going to buy me a car. So he goes, all that was happening. Then this other woman came in and she was like, I swear to God, I need a man here. And she like sits down and she's like, she gets on her phone. She's just watching. She's like, I got here. Yep. I'm telling you, I was nice to him. I was going to pop off. And if I got to wait here longer than 2 hours, I am going to pop off. And I was like, holy shit. This lady means business. And then right after that, they're like, all right, you're good. And I was like, sweet. They're like, you want a car wash? And I was like, nope. I just got out of there. And yep.
I would have said yes to stick around for the pop-off lady. I'm not gonna lie. I would want to see her go off.
That's true. I could have just stayed and watched her pop off, but maybe she didn't.
My favorite person in the entire world is that person who is semi-confrontational. They're like they're subtweeting in real life. Like the person, like this woman who is loudly saying, I'm going to pop off. Oh, I'm going to fight someone, but not saying it to anyone.
Yeah.
Just saying it so that the people hear her so that they'll understand, oh, she's trouble, rather than directly stating your problem. It's so funny to me.
Yeah, it was. I do love that. It's like she's venting probably too.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. But it's one of those things where she's venting loudly, for a purpose.
Oh,
like people who do that, it's just like my dad does this all the time. We'll be at a restaurant, right, and we're waiting, and it takes a little bit too long. This wait, my dad will loudly say something about it, but not at the servers or the person who's going to seat us, or he'll just loudly say like, well, this is taking an awfully long time. What could be the holdup? What is going? I'm like, why not ask? He's like, no, I can wait. I'm like, okay, all right.
Oh my God, dude, that must be I think it's a common older generation, because my dad will do that too. They'll like do something. He's just like, yeah, you know, like at other places they bring you out napkins. They haven't brought any no napkins yet, but you know, I'm sure they'll come soon, right? You know?
Loud enough for the people who are serving you to hear. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just like, you just ask him for napkins, and then when they do, he's just like, oh, thanks for you know, it's not that hard to get the napkins. It's just, you know, I like my napkins, so thank you. I'm just
I'm trying to remember the last time we went out to go get food. My mom and I ordered a drink. Like I think my mom got wine or something. Maybe actually, if it's my mom, she probably got vodka straight. And I ordered like some insanely frou-frou drink. And my dad was like, I don't know what I want. I guess I'll have a beer. And then he orders this beer and then spends the entire time being like, oh, I should have got this other drink. I should have got it. And we're like, we can just get the lady. He's like, no, it's fine. But he's loudly saying it enough that as she walks by, she can hear it. And he's like, oh, I should have got the other one. We're like, just ask her. So finally we get her attention. We come over and we're like, can we get this other drink? She's like, yeah, no problem. She goes to fix it. And he's just like, yeah, you guys didn't need to do that. And we're like, clearly we did, Dad.
Yeah. Just the very aggressive passive aggressive.
Yes. Yeah. It definitely is an age thing.
Yeah.
But also maybe not, because I know a lot of people our age and younger who 100% will not, like, if food comes out cold, they'll be like, well, I guess I'm eating cold food. Like, they won't say.
Oh, yeah. I do that. If it's something I don't really want, I'll just be like, it would have to be like pretty, if I'm just like, oh my God, I remember one time we got Mexican food and they brought out the fajitas, and clearly she forgot about the fajitas and brought it out, and it was just like, normally they're always sizzling, and they're like, and this one was not sizzling, and she goes, sometimes they just don't sizzle. And I was like, no, I think they always sizzle. That's the point. I didn't say that to her. I was just in my head. That's what I said.
As you looked at your non-sizzling fajitas, your microwave fajitas.
So I was just like, but you know, if that was my dad, he definitely would have been like, I don't know. I mean, usually they are sizzling. Something must be going on in this place. I don't know. I think I should get them for free if that's.
You know what's funny about that is I have to imagine it's like a generational thing. Like the people who fought in World War II were like, well, this here isn't good enough for me. I demand quality. And then their kids are like, yeah, I don't want to complain to you, but I'm going to loudly state I don't like it. And then their kids were like, I'm not going to say a damn thing. I'm just going to sit here and eat this stupid shit. Like, it seems so funny to me that that's how it seems to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. What was the? Oh yeah. He'll always say something about there not being soup and salad. I swear to God, every old person wants soup and salad with their meal. Like the meal is ruined if it doesn't come with complimentary soup and salad. And
but more importantly, the salad has to be extremely crisp and fresh, and the soup must be scalding hot.
Oh,
if it is not, the rest of the meal is ruined. My dad judges the entirety of his food not on whether it tastes good, but whether it is mouth-burning hot. If it's hot, it's a great meal. If it's not, he's like, well, this wasn't even that good. I'm like, this is an expensive restaurant. He's like, it wasn't hot. It wasn't hot at all.
Yeah, I don't get it. Don't understand. Or the serving size. He'll always be like, where's the food? Like, if he would have went to, like, any fancy restaurant or anything where it's, like, the gourmet, like, barely any food there, he'd be like, what's this? Where is everything? I'm hungry. And I'm like, yeah. It's about the quality, not the quantity. And he's like, ah.
Yeah, it's very interesting, my parents. But also my dad doesn't have that issue because he exists in, like, a fake world where no matter what he eats, he claims it's the first meal he had that day.
What?
Like, he will say, man, I haven't eaten anything all day. And I'm like, you clearly had breakfast earlier. He's like, oh, no, that was nothing. I'm like, dude, I know you. You wake up at like 4 a.m., make toast, go back to bed, wake up again, have another breakfast, and then you complain about, like, oh, I didn't eat anything today. I'm like, you definitely did. You definitely did, man. He's like, no. This is my first meal of the day. And then if it's a big lunch, I'll be like, well, you don't have to eat anything else the rest of the day. I'm like, you definitely are, though. I know you're going to go home like 5 hours from now, find something to snack on. And he's like, no, I never do that. I never do that.
Has he always done that, or is that just
always?
He's gotten old?
That's always. Oh. My dad's the guy who, if my mom brought donuts home, my dad would eat all the donuts and be like, well, I ate them all because I know you're watching your weight, and I don't want you to get those.
Yep.
Like, he's that guy.
He's always got a reason for what he's doing.
Always. And it's always a terrible reason that is so obvious to see through. And you're just like, okay, all right, Dad. Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. I played a Warhammer game, though. Well, actually, I've been playing a lot of Warhammer games lately. I saw your...
Hold on, what do you mean? I played a Warhammer game. I play a lot of Warhammer games.
Well...
It almost sounds depressing. I played a Warhammer game. I play a lot of Warhammer games.
Well, they're very intensive activities.
Sure.
So I saw your TikTok, where you talk about, well, I guess it's from your actual Geekender podcast, where you talk about Warhammer, and you're like, Crendor plays Warhammer, I couldn't do it, right?
I can't.
Yeah, no, you would probably get mad already at the dice rolls, let alone the rules.
People were like, you should play more Blood Bowls. Like, that game made me furious. Are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah,
anything that's like, I exist in a world where 50-50 seems like good odds to me, all right? So if you're telling me it's a 50% chance, I'm like, I can do this. And the fact that it fails every time, I'm like, nah, don't do that to me. I can't play this shit.
Yeah, you would not. So there's like the varying degrees of games. So there's Age of Sigmar is what I would always play, which is what became of Warhammer Fantasy, and then 40K is the other one, which is essentially like the main one everyone plays, right? But Sigmar is like the fantasy version of that. 40K got a little more Sigmar-y in the latest 10th edition, but now they have released Warhammer Old World, which is based off Warhammer Fantasy, which is, you would hate this game. You would, it's like the ultimate.
It's the same units, just different. Like a different rule set? Is that what you're saying?
It's a different rule set, but currently, if you play Sigmar 40K, everything's on circular bases. But in Warhammer Old World or Fantasy, everything was on square bases because it's rank and file. So it means you have like units like stack like an actual battle, like in Total War, how you have like units that are all filed and ranked, everything. It's like that, but in person. And so, because it's rank and file and like a realistic battle simulator on tabletop, the rule book is like 250 pages.
It's already too much.
I spent days reading that rule book. And then I have a friend who's like pretty into it. A few friends, actually, but one is like really into reading it. So we would just go back and forth. I'm like, okay, when you read this thing, does this mean this thing? And he's like, yes, but only when this thing. And I'm like, what about this thing? He's like, yeah, this thing. So like we just go back and forth with the rules. So now I played my 4th game against him today, and we still have situations that are like mind-blowing. Like none of this is going to make sense to you. So I was the Beastmen. He was the Bretonians, or yeah, Breton, whatever the human one. And then we had like 5.
But again, you're still using this. For me, all that matters is, can I still paint the same things?
Yeah, but the old world
so you're
has
using the same things.
The models, technically, as long as you base them correctly. They have to be on square bases, not circular bases.
Oh, so that's what you meant. For some reason, I thought you were talking about the map. For some reason,
no, I don't know.
Like the battlefield. I was like,
no.
Yeah, the square base. And right.
No,
okay, you mean like the actual thing you plant them on?
Yeah, the actual thing you plant them on is square.
Can I ask you? And this is as a person who I know you have a relationship with these people,
right?
But was this done merely to sell new stuff to make more money?
I would say this is a classic WoW. It feels like when they redid classic WoW, right? Because it's like retail WoW, classic WoW, and a bunch of people are like, it's Age of Sigmar. It's nothing like Warhammer Fantasy. And so this is essentially to them being like, hey, you know what? We're going to give you Warhammer Fantasy back again. Here you go. And so all of the models are old. You can technically like play with newer models and just proxy it. But a lot of people are just using their old models. You can use your army from like 2006 or whatever. Like people are using their old shit. And they're like re-releasing stuff from back then and redoing it. It's like they're going crazy, but it's actually selling well. It just reminds me of classic WoW.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, you know what? I wanted to play this game back in 2003 when I was like 13 or 14 or whatever. And I remember my small brain was just like, I don't know what I'm reading. And I still don't know what I'm reading, but now I'm much better at comprehending it.
Okay, sure.
And so we've learned all these rules, and we're playing. We've played before and all these things, but now there's a situation today where I had my unit of Gores and a Beast Lord, and he had his, like, Bretonian on a Pegasus Knight or whatever the shit. I don't know human things.
As you do, right.
Yeah. I don't know human stuff. He's got a Pegasus Knight General, all right? So he challenges my Beast Lord, okay, to a challenge, and you have to accept it in this game. There's like an entire thing based on characters dueling each other. And so...
so do you think they learned that from Total War Three Kingdoms, that one?
No, this existed in like 2005.
Oh shit. Okay.
So if anything, they learned that from the
Right,
old world.
sure, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, all right. So we go back and forth, and neither of us killed each other, which means that you're stuck in combat for another round. However, there's like 5 other units around these 2 guys dueling, and they're just like stuck in combat. So you still have combat resolution, which is an entirely different thing that's going to confuse you even more. But essentially, there's this guy. I had a pack of Bestigors on the other side of him, and I was like, well, are my Bestigors still in combat because you're dueling me? And he's like, I mean, I don't think they are, because they can't actually fight me because we're in a duel. So then I looked it up, and then my other friend was just like, no, I'll look it up. So they're both looking it up, and they're like, wait, I think they're still in combat. And he's like, but that doesn't make sense because they can't fight. So they're not in combat, but they are in combat. And so they spent like 10 minutes figuring it out, and it boiled down to them just being like, roll a dice, 1, 2, 3, you're not, 4, 5, 6, you are. Like, it's just that level of rule analysis that goes into it. But I love that.
Yeah, no, I'm all right. No, I'm good.
Yeah.
That would drive me crazy.
Yeah, and then like building actual army lists. It's almost like D&D, where like you can give characters mutations and weapons and all these different things. So you got to remember all that too. It's fun. I like it.
Well, I mean, so the mutations are only for the Chaos guys, though, right?
Correct. So like they can only take mutation, but other factions have like different things that they get. Like Tomb Kings, for example, they can resurrect guys, so they have like their own little flair thing. So it's kind of like actually playing Total War, but on tabletop, but a lot more complex and rule heavy and nerdy.
Yeah. I mean, again, concept, characters, the way that it looks, all of it's really cool. I imagine it's the exact same thing of like someone who watches a Star Wars movie because lightsabers are cool versus caring about Star Wars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm the same way, where I'm like, wow, this is cool. I love this, but I never want to learn it.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I mean, there's different tiers of anything, right? Like, yeah, it's like somebody watches it and it's like, that's cool. And somebody else who's like analyzing every little detail and buying Star Wars thing and getting super into it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. That's been my week.
Sounds like a good one.
It kind of was. The money part was not good.
Well, if you want to save some money, here we go. You can do so with ButcherBox. That's right. ButcherBox is the easiest way to get high-quality meat and seafood you can trust delivered right to your doorstep. 100% grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken, pork raised crate-free and wild-caught seafood. No antibiotics, no hormones, none of that. And like I said, right to your doorstep with curated or customized boxes of all your favorite meats. I know this year I have been really cruising with the chicken that I got. I requested, as I mentioned before, I said, I don't want any sort of big pieces of like roast or like ribs or anything. I want something I can manage because of me. And I got a bunch of chicken wings and more importantly, drumsticks, dude. I love They sent me so many chicken.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And so I've been making them. I have one of those like it's like a grill / air fryer thing. It's one of those. I'm not gonna name the name. It's one of those ones, and I've been putting my peri peri sauce on them, and then grilling those bad boys up. Oh my God, I love a good drumstick. I'm a big fan, and so chicken legs around the world, come to my mouth. I want you. You can get amazing things just like that delivered right to you. The convenience is amazing. It's less grocery store trips. It's right in the freezer for you whenever you need it. Plus, there's little tips and recipes on your box based on what you've ordered. So eat better this year with the best meat and seafood on the planet delivered to your door. ButcherBox is offering you, our listeners, their choice of a weeknight meal essential. 3 pounds of chicken thighs, 2 pounds of ground beef, or 1 pound of premium steak tips for free in every order for the whole year. Plus, get $20 off your first order. Sign up today at butcherbox.com/Cox and use code Cox to get your free offer and that $20 off. Once again, butcherbox.com/Cox. Use code Cox to get your choice of a free offer, and $20 off. All right, Crendor, let's go to Trump's Crendor.
Oh man, traffic is crazy. There is rain everywhere. There is other weather everywhere. There's a lot of weather happening. And if you look down there, you can still see somebody just staring at Jesse. I can't make out who it is, but there is somebody. I can see it in their eyes. They're crazy right now. Back to you.
Why are they staring? Why they gotta be staring? I wasn't even doing nothing. Why you gotta be staring?
I don't know why. It's just because it's you.
It must be. The word's out on the street. Let's go to weather.
Weather time. All right, let's see. So we have a weather request for oh wait. We never did in Alaska, right?
I don't think so.
Somebody said, I am an Alaska listener and I've requested it before a few times. Soldotna, Alaska needs the weather.
How do you spell Soldotna?
Soldotna.
That's exactly how you would think it was. All right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Soldotna, Alaska.
I just want to say for the record, the one image that appears on Soldotna looks like it's on the corner of a river, like a river bend, and it's 3 houses.
Well, oh yeah, I see that. In Soldotna, it's 10 degrees Fahrenheit. It's cold, and it's going to be snowing 8 inches in the next 24 hours. So watch out for that. It feels like 4 degrees. Humidity 87, 29.9 inches of pressure, 9 miles of visibility, 9:13 a.m. sunrise, 5:23 p.m. sunset. Winds at 4 miles an hour, dew point 70 on the UV index, and a moon phase of waning crescent. 10-day. Tonight, getting down to -2. But Monday, it'll be snowing at 22 degrees. Tuesday, 25, mostly cloudy. Wednesday, 28, mostly cloudy. Thursday, 26, partly cloudy. Friday, 31, cloudy. Saturday, mostly cloudy, 32. And Sunday, 31 with more snow.
Question for you, my Soldotna friend. What is the purpose of living here? Not like, I don't mean like Anchorage is very close. I'm not sure how close. I would imagine it's under 100 miles, but I'm curious, what is the, like, why here? Why not Sterling? Or, I mean, I guess I'm curious why the choice. It seems like there's actually a lot to do in Soldotna. It seems like there's a lot of national parks and probably places to fish and hike and all that stuff. And there's plenty of food, but I'm curious why there and not, is Alaska a little, or is Anchorage a little too much?
Maybe they were born there and that's just
Maybe.
why they live there.
Good point. You are right.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to some of these places. Froso's Family Dining.
Oh yeah, I saw it. Froso's Family Dining.
Froso's Family Dining. It looks like a place Gordon Ramsay would go to be like, what is this burger? It definitely has that.
Does. Yeah, it's got a 3.9, which.
But then there's this place over here, Brew at 602, which is actually kind of a fun name. It looks like it's just a train, but the food there looks good. I'll give it that. It's got waffles and coffee, and like I'm here for that.
Frozo's Family Dining looks like the most generic food you could find.
It's probably been there for 65 years.
Oh, 100%.
Because I'm looking at something like Senor Ponchos. Senor Ponchos looks like a place I would go in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah. No, that looks
Some good old Tex-Mex. Sign me up. Also, they have sizzling fajitas. I'm looking at it right now.
Dude, they got those sizzling fajitas. By the way, the place that had the non-sizzling fajitas is closed now. So
that sounds right.
The other place we go to is much better, and they always sizzle.
I'm curious. It looks like a lot of these restaurants you would consider American cuisine. Like I'm looking at it, and great example is Ginger's Restaurant. Burgers, looks like some sort of omelet situation, steak and eggs. You know, like a salad has a lot of cheese on it. Look at this salad. This salad is half cheese and bacon. That's an amazing salad. That's the most American salad I've ever seen.
Let's see, hold on. Ginger's Restaurant. Oh, yeah, Ginger's. I was looking at Odie's Deli.
Odie's looks delicious.
Yeah, Odie's looks pretty good. Oh, yeah, there it is. There it is. Yep. It's got like is that garlic toast on top or something?
Why not, dude? Why not?
That does look like it looks like that salad was in a hurry.
The Fine Time Cafe looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what is the Catch Restaurant and Bar? This is the...
Oh, there you
I
go.
will say something that I don't know why this is. And I don't know, again, to our lovely listeners who are in Alaska, specifically our recommender on this.
Yeah.
Why is it again, maybe this is because, is this something to do with like a sun thing? Why every restaurant I'm looking at, every single one except for maybe Pizza Boys, although I'm trying to confirm right now, serves some type of breakfast.
I didn't notice that, yeah.
Every single one serves some type of breakfast. Is it truckers driving through? Is it because the sun's all wacky in the winter? What's the vibe? Why are we serving breakfast all the time? I'm not against it. In fact, I'm very for it.
Yeah.
It's just curious. Every place has... Hold on. Here's the question. Does the St. Elias Brewing Company serve breakfast? Big questions here.
That is a big question.
They got pizzas. They got beers. They got sauces and salads. Again, another salad with a lot of cheese on it. But I don't see any breakfast. So, all right, maybe, you know what? Why would you go to a brewery for breakfast?
Yeah, I don't know.
Although maybe...
Wait,
is breakfast beer the next wave that we need to... We should conquer that.
Breakfast beer?
We should get on the breakfast beer train.
We should. Breakfast beer. You got like maple syrup beer.
I was literally about to say hints of maple.
Yeah. You gotta have that.
Oh yeah, you do like a maple
coffee beer.
Do like a maple bacon beer.
Oh yeah. There you go.
I don't know what the hell that would taste like, but that's the future.
Have like have a wake up beer. It's like a beer with like a shot of espresso in it or something.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah, like a coffee beer?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, you go a little crazy with it.
That doesn't seem like a wise choice though, to be like, come on down, get beer before you go to work.
It probably isn't, no.
I don't know, that's great.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Some of them are probably doing it anyway as well.
I mean, there's a place down the street from me that does alcoholic breakfasts, and they do like milkshakes that are alcohol. Again, milk plus alcohol always seemed weird to me, but people order the hell out of it.
Yeah, it seems like a lot. It's like something I would try once and then probably not try again.
I did try once, and I was sick the rest of the day because apparently alcohol plus milk is not smart.
Yeah, no. What else is this St. Ellie got?
There's honestly, hold on, question.
Mm-hmm.
Sushi restaurant. I was about to say, this sushi restaurant has a 4.8, and I would imagine if you're like a block and a half from the water, that sushi's got to be delicious.
Oh, yeah. 100%. That's like, yeah, where's the water? Oh, yeah, it's like literally right on the ocean.
Whoa, I have so many questions about this. Okay,
right.
First off, I scrolled out, went to Anchorage to like look around and see if I could find like a goofy place. And the first thing I came across was Bikini Babes, Alaska, which is apparently a coffee shop where girls dress up in bikinis and serve you coffee. Yep, I'm looking at a photo of one girl. Yep, there's another one. These are bikini. This girl is just in lingerie, huh?
What the shit? Oh, yeah.
The best part is, though, the part that I noticed where it caught me off guard, right across the street is the Taku Elementary School.
Oh, Jesus. Yep.
So I just have to imagine dads are really excited to drop their kids off at work or at school. They're like, yeah, don't worry, honey, I'll take them in today.
Think I'm going to get coffee.
Yeah, I'll get some coffee on the way home. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Is that like is it mainly just coffee?
Bikini Babes?
Oh, yeah. It's a beach-themed espresso stand.
Yeah, beach-themed. Right, sure.
Yeah, the old beach lingerie.
Yeah, that's why people go there, for the beach theme.
They do look like they got some crazy drinks.
It looks like just sexy Starbucks, to be honest.
It is.
It's not like thrilling, but it's just like, yeah, this is a girl and she is wearing barely anything and serving you like, okay. I have no problems with this, but I imagine they're running at premium prices, right? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Although, A small house drip is $1.50. You know what? That's better than most places.
That is pretty good.
That's a good deal. $1.50?
Is that like modern price or is that a while ago?
I don't know. It's 5 years ago. Is this menu? All right, never mind. It's probably $12 now.
This guy, yeah, it probably is $12 now. Let's see.
These are pre-pandemic prices, bro.
This guy left a review and said, I think it was either Plato or Chris Rock who said no one goes to Hooters for the wings. Well, I'm happy to report that you'd be within your rights to go here for the coffee. They pull a nice latte.
You know what's actually really funny is that, as far as I can tell, all the testimonials are dudes, which makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
But also, it's always, every one of these is like, yeah, the coffee's very good, I like it, but also, there's this one girl there that was really nice to me. And if I leave a review, she'll probably marry me, I think. Right? Right, guys? Right?
No doubter.
I just can't believe it is diagonal to an elementary school. It is right there. But then right up the street is a Baptist church, so I feel like it all balances out.
Yeah, it's the trifecta. You get, yeah. They just keep going in a loop. They drop. I
feel like if
off.
I ever went to Alaska, this is the first stop I'd go to. Guys, I really need coffee though. It's gonna be a little out of the way. Don't worry.
They have the Bikini Babes punch card. You get your 10th one is free. It's got a bikini woman on it. Yeah, this is.
Who knew?
I didn't know this was a thing either until now.
The first review on this one that I clicked was, I don't know if this white girl works here, but she looks amazing. She was in this tight pants with a small shirt, walking around, eating her McDonald's lunch. She was absolutely beautiful. Makes me want to visit there. LOL. Yeah, no, I'm all right.
Yeah, no.
A little too sad. A little too sad for me.
Yeah, that's... She was nice to me once. She's got to be in love with me.
I'm definitely coming back.
Yeah, that's the... You definitely get those clients going there.
Yeah, it's the Hooters thing. I'm like, yeah, I'm just going for the chicken wings and my future wife. Like, okay, all right.
Yep. But yeah, that's the weather.
Okay, let's go to sports.
Sports. Some headlining sports news. Joel Embiid of the 76ers to undergo procedure to address meniscus injury. That's not good. Also, we got the Super Bowl, which will be next week, and it's the Chiefs 49ers. Woo.
Woo.
Then we have the Pro Bowl happened today, and the NFC won the Pro Bowl 64-59, and nobody cares. And then we had...
So messed up. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. They don't care. Then in the NBA standings, we got the Celtics up top of the East. We got the Thunder and the Timberwolves tied in the West with the Clippers and the Nuggets a game behind them. In hockey, they also just had their All-Star game. You got the Bruins atop the East and the Rangers atop their division in the East as well. And then in the West, you got the Avalanche and the Canucks. And don't look now, but baseball spring training. It's just a couple of weeks away. Yep, that's right. Baseball.
It's finally here.
It's finally
it's almost like it
here.
never left.
Yep, because it's only gone for a couple months. And that's really sports.
Okay. What is our fact of the day?
Fact of the day. Day. All right, we got a fact of the day here, and this fact, this is also, okay, I'm gonna give you two facts.
Okay. I'll take two.
Blushing is caused by a rush of adrenaline. It's also genetic, so if you're prone to it, it's likely one of your parents is too.
Oh, you mean just like people who
geez.
get really red?
Yeah.
It's like a genetic thing?
Yeah. Which I didn't know. I thought everybody just had that in them.
Well, I mean, I think everyone has the potential to blush, which is a weird statement, but I feel like that makes sense.
Maybe
and then some people just get really red. Like when some people, when they eat hot food, some people can handle it well, and some people turn bright red and almost die.
Oh, yeah. We did that. We went to Buffalo Wild Wings. I think it was back. It was like Tina and Dan were here. And I remember Dan was drinking, which I think he also turns red from drinking and eating hot wings. And he was like, "Oh, these are some spicy wings." And he was like, that man was like sweating. He was like bright red. I was like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm good."
These are some spicy wings.
The other fact, over the course of an average lifetime, most people will spend an entire year sitting on the toilet.
You know, I'm trying to go for longer. I feel like I put in the time. Make that happen.
I think you can do it.
I feel like I can. I feel like I can. Sometimes it's the only place where I feel safe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get in there, you just close the door. You're like, I'm going to stay in here a little longer than I should.
That's your facts of the day.
All right. What is our big news story of the day?
Big news story of the day. Which is actually a very similar thing to fact of the day.
Okay.
Well, I mean, in terms of like
the two facts.
I mean, in terms of the intro to the fact of the day, big news story of the day, like that.
Of course.
7 king cakes stolen from New Orleans bakery in a very Mardi Gras way.
Hold on. Are king cakes the round one? It's like a yeah. It's like a round cake filled with stuff.
I've seen those. I don't know what they're filled with. Traditional.
That's a great question.
Yeah, you got the king cake. It looks like some sort of, what is that? I don't know what that is.
I would have thought cinnamon and sugar, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Yeah, what does king cake taste like? God bless the internet. I love things like this. King cake is a rich, sweet pastry flavored with cinnamon and sometimes contains cream cheese or pecans. It's called cake, but it tastes more like a Danish or cinnamon roll. Yeah, looks delicious. I'd eat the hell out of that.
It does look very good. A thief stole 7 king cakes, about as many as he could carry during a break-in. With their purple...
Such a weird thing to be like, a national news article, man steals 7 cakes.
Yep. With their purple, gold, and green colors, and toy babies hidden inside. What the shit?
Yeah, it's supposed to represent the baby Jesus for some reason. Look, I don't understand it. It's it's very weird, but also, sure, yeah, there's a little baby inside that's supposed to be Jesus.
All right.
A hidden prize, question mark? It seems like a choking hazard, but what are you going to do?
It's definitely a choking hazard. In fact, they banned the Wonder Balls because people were choking on the shit in there. Remember those?
I do. There's a lot of things that are banned because Americans will eat anything.
Yeah.
Like, there's a baby in here, I bet I could eat it. Like, don't do that.
They probably would try. King cakes are staples of Mardi Gras celebrations in New Orleans, but apparently they're also valuable enough to steal, at least this time of year during the carnival season. Is it carnival or carnival?
I guess it depends on where you're at, right? I mean, we're not in Brazil, so like, whatever, it's carnival.
Yeah. A thief stole 7 king cakes, about as many as he could carry, during a break-in last week at a New Orleans bakery. The thief also took cash and a case of vodka from Bittersweet Confections last Wednesday. This dude's living it up.
Yeah, someone's about to have a party.
Our king cakes are just that good, the bakery wrote on social media. But please, come and purchase one during our regular store hours.
That's actually pretty good. That's a solid response.
That is a solid response.
Yeah.
While it's a secular celebration, Carnival in New Orleans and around the world is strongly linked to Christian and Roman Catholic traditions. The season begins on January 6th and the 12th day after Christmas and continues until Mardi Gras, known as Fat Tuesday, which is the final day of feasting, drinking, and revelry before Ash Wednesday and fasting associated with Lent.
I'd go do Mardi Gras. I'd do it.
I figured you would have already, knowing you.
No, I've never been to New Orleans once in my life.
Damn. Yeah, that feels like a super Jesse adventure.
You would figure maybe it's too Jesse. Like it's almost a mockery of Jesse.
It is kind of, it might be.
It's a little too extreme.
King cakes are among the foods most associated with Carnival in New Orleans. The rings of pastry are adorned with purple, green, and gold sugar or icing, and they often have a tiny plastic baby hidden inside as a prize. One wisecracker responded to the bakery's social media post with a tongue-in-cheek false admission that he was the thief. Quote, "It was me. I'm holding all 7 babies hostage until I get my lifetime supply of king cakes from you every year.
It was me, Austin. I took all the babies. Like, that's a weird.
I took the king cakes, Oswald. It
was me.
Spider-Man. And that's really the story. Some guy stole the cakes.
Awesome. All right. That's it for us. Thanks so much for listening or watching. I'm enjoying the podcast. Crendor, hit them with the socials.
We got socials. You can listen to all these over on youtube.com/Cox and Crendor podcast. Also, leave your weather requests, and we might make fun of your town's restaurants or compliment them. Who knows? You won't know until you comment. Also, go to Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud. We're everywhere. We also got youtube.com/Cox and Crendor, where all the animations are. We also got our own things like youtube.com Jesse Cox, youtube.com Crendor, Patreon Jesse Cox, Patreon Crendor, Twitch Jesse Cox, Twitch Crendor, TikTok Jesse Cox, TikTok Crendor, which, by the way, my pink starburst got up to 25,000 tox.
My God.
Pretty big.
Figured it out. You've cracked the code.
Pretty big. I don't know if I can get much bigger than that with the starburst, but I'll keep trying. If I can get over 100,000 tox on a pink starburst, I think I'll do it. It's funny because people in that algorithm, they're like, wait, is that Crendor? And I was like, dude, this algorithm is working great.
I was about to say, I saw some comments that were like, dude, I haven't seen Crendor forever. I was like, the man figured it out. He's back, baby.
I got it. I'm back. So yeah, TikTok Crendor. Instagram Notorious Cox. Instagram Crendor was taken. And there's probably more stuff, but that's all I got.
Okay, well, that's it for us. Thanks again, everybody, and we'll see you next time. And as always, to be continued.